Hello and Assalamu alaikum viewers. This is your host Farhan Iqbal and you're watching Newspoint. So we have finally come towards the end of the year and the upcoming draw for FSW most likely would be the last draw of this year for the express entry. There had been consistently draws every 2 weeks. I believe only 2 times the sequence was broken that instead of doing the draw once every 2 weeks they did once after 3 weeks, but then after some time they did a draw after 1 week, so they were back to their bi-weekly schedule. And then this happened again in, I believe, recently in October and November, that around Remembrance Day they did the draw after 3 weeks, and then after that they did a draw after 1 week. So eventually overall around the year there have been consistently draws every 2 weeks. This means that the next draw we can expect around December 23rd. However, because it is very close to Christmas and people start going to holidays during this season, there is a possibility that they might do a draw on December 16th rather than doing it on December 23rd. When the draw data is published for the December 9th draw, we have taken a look at that data and we are going to review that in this video. And then I will make a forecast that if they do a draw on December 16th, which is actually a little less likely, then what could be the cutoff? And if they do the draw on regular routine like on December 23rd, then what could be the cutoff? If the draw happens actually on December 16th, that could be a great news, because if the draw happens only after 7 days, then there's a great chance that the CRS score can come down. So before we look at the data, if you still haven't subscribed our channel, consider subscribing our channel and click on the bell button so that you never miss any of the notifications from our channel. So let's take a look at the data and then see how many people are there in each range. So on this screen I have all the data from all the way from July till this very latest draw which happened on December 9th. So the cutoff in the previous draw was also 469, and the draw before that also the cutoff was 469. So this means that in the past 2 weeks, that is from December 25th till December 9th, more or less 5,000 people have applied who had a score of 469 and higher. That is why the CRS cutoff did not drop. This means that 471 and higher, about 300 to 400 people are applying every single day. However, let's take a look at the number of people in each range, compare it with the last time, and then see where we are. So at the very top, that is from 600 to 1200, those people who are actually PNP people, the number of people which were on December 7th was 413, which is a little bit higher than what we saw on November 16th. And obviously it is much higher than what we saw on November 25th, because that draw happened only after 1 week. Then 501 to 600, most likely these people have job offers and whatnot, or Canadian degrees, that is why they have such a high score. So in this category we have 537 people, which is again higher than what we saw in both the draws for November, 345, 160, and this time it is exactly 537, so almost 400 higher than what we were seeing previously. 491 to 500, these are also, I would say, majority of the time CEC people who have Canadian degrees. So that is why they are able to get 491 and this kind of score. So over here 314 people, which is a little bit higher than what we were seeing in November. Then 481 to 490, these are majority of the people probably from outside Canada who have good CLB 10 kind of score in English or French, or maybe know both the languages, so they have a high score of 481 and 490. So in this category we have 759 people, which is again higher than what we were seeing in November. 471 to 480, where most of the people who are getting ITAs basically reside. So in this category we have 1735 people. So this number is way lower than what we were seeing earlier. It is comparable to what we saw in the very last draw. However, we should not be comparing it with the very last draw, because the very last draw happened only after 1 week. And after 2 weeks of time also, there are 1735 people, which is actually a good sign. So holistically, from 471 to 1200, we are seeing 3758, about 1400 higher than what was in the previous draw. However, it is lower than what we were seeing previously. So this means that 3758 people applied after November 25th till December 7th. So this is about 12 days, I would say. So in 12 days, we have 3758 people who had a score of 471 and higher. So more or less 300 people every single day. 461 to 470 where the cutoff resided. So last time there were 12,000 people, but this time there are 10,858, almost 900 people less. This means that people who were actually 470 and 469, they were about 920. Actually, they could be a little more because some new profiles would also have been created, but about 1,000 people would be probably at 470 and 469. That is why we are seeing a drop of about 920 in this range. Holistically, from 461 to 1200, now there are about 14,616 people. So now in terms of the cutoff, the calculation is somewhat interesting. So for example, we know that on December 9th, 5,000 ITAs are issued. So this means it is obvious that anybody who is above 470 is basically out of the pool. 469 was the cutoff, and we understand that some people who were at 469 could still be in the pool because there was a tie-breaking rule. But we know for sure that there is nobody in the pool who had a score of 470 or higher. As we saw already that the number of people who created their profile in the last 2 weeks and who had a score of 471 and higher was almost 3,800. So 471 and higher, as I mentioned earlier, that almost 300 people are creating profiles every single day. So as I mentioned that there is a possibility that the draw could happen on December 16th. That would be a great news because by that time only about 2,100 people would have created their profiles who had a score of 471 and higher. However, if draw happens on December 23rd, which is actually a little more likely, then about 4,200 or maybe even 4,500 people who have a score of 471 and higher would have created the profiles. So if the draw happens on December 16th, then the cutoff could be 467 and it could be even 466 as well. If it is 466, I would be a little bit surprised, but it is a possibility. However, if the draw happens on December 23rd only, then the cutoff would be very close to 469 itself because we are seeing that almost 5,000 people are applying in 2 weeks. So, but if I have to give a cutoff, I would say it would be 468. And in terms of the range, I would give a big range of 466 to 469. 466 would be actually if the draw happens on December 16th. And if the draw happens on December 23rd, then the cutoff could be 468 and even 469 as well. So why I am saying that the cutoff would only drop by 2 points, maybe maximum to 466 if the draw happens only after 1 week, because the fact is that the cutoff has not come down below 469 for a year. So there would be heaps of candidates on 468 and 467. Probably on each of these numbers, there are more than 5 to 600 people on each of these numbers. Actually, we can see over here that from 461 to 470, there are 10,000 people. And this is a range of 10 numbers. So this means that almost if we say uniform distribution, then on each point there are about 1,000 to 1,100 people. So that is why even if the draw happens after 1 week only, score is not going to drop significantly below 469 because on 468 there are more likely 1,000 people. On 467 there are more likely 1,000 or 1,100 people, and so on. So that is why even if the draw happens on December 16, I would say the cutoff would be maybe 467. Very less likely that it could be 466. And if the draw happens on December 23rd, then it would be either 468 or 469 even. Very less chance that if it happens on December 23rd and it would drop below 468. I would be really surprised if that happens. Hope you like the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, this is your host Farhan Iqbal signing off. Assalamu alaikum.